I'm very happy now to introduce an Italian speaker to us who works for a Dutch company to change the world globally. And he just shared with me that 70% of Italian people are still eating home lunch. I think that's a very interesting figure in digital times. Now, what's the subject? How to travel the road from audience engagement to customer conversion. Just 2 sentences who Sergio Liscia is. He's the Digital and Business Development Director at Wolters Kluwer, a leading multinational information service company for professionals, and he's an executive with extensive experience in digital marketing, channel strategy, especially e-commerce, and a lot of other things. So, very happy to have you here.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you. First of all, I would like to say that I have a tough mission today because I'm going to speak right after the lunch. So just a question for you. Did you take your coffee? Yes, okay, very good, perfect. So, thank you for the introduction. A few words on me. I'm a digital enthusiast. I've been working in digital for many years, previously as a consultant, and then in Wolters Kluwer. I'm also a business angel, and thanks to this position, I can see a lot of things that are very interesting in the field of digital. So, a few words on Wolters Kluwer. Wolters Kluwer is a global information company that is providing many segments, such as the legals, the tax professionals, the healthcare, and the financial institution with digital information, software, and services. And that's quite interesting because if you take Wolters Kluwer, that is considered or was considered a professional publisher. Wolters Kluwer is years that has something like more than 75% of the revenues that are just coming from digital, from information that are already digitalized. But one aspect is having the revenue that are coming from products that are digital. Another aspect is selling them via digital. And so today we're going to talk about how to convert the audience into sales, also for digital products. Wolters Kluwer. Wolters Kluwer was founded 2 centuries ago. It is quite big. We are talking about 4 billion revenues. And we are talking about a presence of in 180 countries, with operation in almost 40 countries. So the reach of Wolters Kluwer is quite capillary. What about the digital path that we have realized in Italy? Today, I would like to take Italy as an example of how we have created a freemium ecosystem that now we are using in order to convert our audience into sales. We started many years ago with a strategy that was intended to be built on 3 pillars: buy, make, and partner. As for the part in which we started from our capabilities and our assets, so we started building upon the things that we already had at home, we just decided that we had some assets and capabilities that we could value in order to build a digital touch point for our targets. And so we started, for example, with our vertical for tax advisors and labor consultants. We had a powerful tool, a powerful website that is called Ipsoa, and we started just to build upon it our strategy of freemium engagement. Because Ipsoa was an online newspaper, it was just closed with a paywall, and we started progressively to open the news in order to attract many people compared to the previous state. And then we also worked very intensively on the usability of our e-commerce, because we wanted to create just a seamless experience from the referral of the community of the website in Ipsoa and to bring them in our e-commerce. But then we lacked some other some other targets, because our coverage of IPSOA was just for the tax consultants and labor consultants. And so we decided to buy, for instance, Altalex. Altalex is the largest community for legal professionals in Italy, accounting for something like 2 million visitors per month. That is quite huge if you take into consideration how big is the community of professionals. And we acquired also Tecnoring, that is Ingegneri.info, Architetto.info, that gave to us the coverage of the so-called health and safety professionals. And then we decided that we want also to have the coverage of some ancillary targets, such as, for instance, the notaries. And so we decided to have an affiliation and partnership with another website, another community that was just dedicated to this target. And we'll also consider that we wanted to have a presence on the consumer side. Why that? Because the consumer was instrumental to the other target. And so we partnered with Il Corriere della Sera, that is the major newspaper in Italy, and we created a portal that is just in the tab of the economy topic in ilcorriere.it. That is very simple, but it took years. It took years because you have to define a clear strategy, and our clear strategy was we wanted to have a coverage for each of our main targets. And once that you have defined the strategy, I'm just talking about something about 5 years ago, we had just to go for the execution, and the execution is long. It takes time. But then, after some years, the result is that we have created, I can say, the largest network of professionals on the web in Italy, because we are covering the lawyers, we are covering the tax consultants, we are covering the health and safety, and we do that for just simple objectives. We want to sell more. We want to sell more of our current services, but we want also to experiment, because this large audience that we have aggregated is giving to us a great advantage, is allowing us also to speak and to talk with our targets, and just to have an immediate response of the things that we are just putting down on the field. And is enabling us to have a lot of insights, a lot of data on our targets, and is allowing us also to test some promotion, some products, and some actions. And then we wanted to go also for the instrumental target, as I was telling to you before. And with the Rete Risposte, that is this partnership that we have created with the Il Corriere della Sera, the web part of Il Corriere della Sera, we have also aggregated a huge amount of consumers that are, to us, instrumental to offer a service to the professionals, because we can match the consumer with the professionals. And all this freemium ecosystem is resulting in 4 million of unique visitors, almost, 50 million pages on average per month, and more than 700,000 registered users. And these B2B communities and these B2C communities have just one objective: to converge on our e-sales destination, or to generate leads for our field operations. And so the point was, at the beginning, when we started 5 years ago, we wanted to have an audience to be aggregated for selling more and for experimenting. And when you aggregate this huge audience, you have always to keep in mind where do you want somehow to route this audience, because at the end, the audience itself is very nice to talk with people, but since you're in a business, you want also them to buy. And is that easy? Is that working? Not exactly as we planned, because as you know how the saying is, there is no amount of careful planning that can beat pure luck, and you cannot rely on luck. And so over time, we discovered that we had the audience, but the operations, the execution in converting them was not so satisfactory as we wanted. For instance, direct emailing is something that I think for many of you also that you are listening to me is going down, because direct emailing is just getting to the top of the ceiling, because the conversion is going down. The people are somehow disturbed by so many emails received in the email account. And beyond that, direct emailing, if you are relying on direct emailing, the traditional direct emailing, it is very time-consuming. And the manual implementation of direct emailing is just taking a lot of time of the marketers that you have in your team. On the other side, also the referrals were not so effective as we thought at the beginning. That was a problem. And there is also one point that is related to the customer behavior. The customer behavior started to change because we started to register the fact that if once the 42% of the conversions were completed just in one day, then after 6 months, this data that we registered was 33%. And then we started also to look at the interactions. If at the beginning we could say that we needed just 1 to 3 interactions to complete a purchase, to have a conversion, and the 60% of the people were just categorized in these 1 to 3 interactions, after a few months, this percentage was 40%. So basically, the path to conversion was getting longer and longer. That was something that was not driven by us. Yes. The consumers, the users, were just impacting this data. And so we had just to put in place countermeasures because we were affected by this data. Where to start from? We started from the basics again. And so we started from the traffic generation. And we start thinking, we want to attract the right people for the right content. And so we started also to change our content in order to be more adherent to the services that we were selling. That is subtle, because it's not enough to attract the audience. Even if they are professionals, you want to attract the right professional at the right moment. And you want them to read, to engage the content that is leading to a proper interest. You want them to be engaged with the assets that are leading to a conversion. So you want them to start the customer journey from something that is right close to the service that you are selling. And then we started to create what we called a content marketing sales funnel. Because as you know, market are conversations, and we wanted to engage the people. So we wanted to register them right in the moment in which they were just landing on our content. And this gave us somehow the ability to contact them again and again and again. So we asked permission to them. It's very easy. And then there was the part of the conversion. The part of the conversion, is the harder, but it is also the most important. It is the harder for many reasons, but just keep it in mind for a few seconds, because we're going to talk about the content. I just want to make a few moments talking about producing content for a publisher, because I think that there are many publishers that are sitting here in this meeting, and I believe that people that are not in this sector think that we get an advantage because we got a lot of editorial stuff, and so in their mind we should be able to produce a large amount of content marketing. It's not exactly working in this way, because making good content marketing, such as articles, advertorials, newsletter, videos, is not just requiring the ability to write content. It's requiring the ability to write the content to sell. That is different. And it requires a lot of change management. So I can say that if you take the example of Italy, we have, I can say, tens of people that are writing content or managing people that are writing content. So we got large editorial staff. If I have to say, out of these 10 people, how many of them are able really to write for the web in a perspective of content marketing, I would say not more than 10. That is quite different. So it isn't so easy. It isn't so easy because you have to write for the right group of people. You have to choose your target. You have to adapt your content for these people. You have to choose also the right timing in which you want to deliver this content. And you have to choose the right channel. And so the mix of these 4 ingredients isn't so easy because you have to bet on all the 4 of the ingredients. And I would like just to make an example of how it works. Here I have an example of a campaign that was pretty successful in Italy because we have tested this circle, this I would say virtuous circle in this case, many times. We started just from monitoring what the people were interested in. So we are talking about the health and safety professional. The health and safety professional were just interested in some topics. We were registering these topics on Facebook. We selected these topics. We selected the threads. We created on our portals a topical page related to these topics. We asked people to register to the newsletter in order to receive further news about these topics, and then we connected our service to these news. And it was quite successful. And then also we created in our forum page a section to assist on these services. So that was an example of the right target, the right content, the right time on the right channels. But there is more. There is more, and I will conclude very briefly. In order to convert, content is not enough. If you're a marketer, you know that you want to funnel as many people as you can downright your tube. And you have some knobs that you can turn. One of these knobs is the marketing automation, or broadly speaking, the data and the algorithms that are very powerful in order to bring the people where you want them to be. So you are relying on monitoring the people on some aspects. What behavior they had in past, and what the people that are similar to the groups that you're targeting are behaving like. And you use this kind of data to bring the people from the status of suspects right down the road to the status of clients. And you use the recommendation, for instance, that is based on the algorithms such as people who has bought this has bought also this, or remarketing. And then you use also affinity or other kind of marketing tools to leverage the monitoring of the behaviors. If you want to amplify this aspect, you have to deploy marketing automation tool, because the marketing automation tool is taking all the elements that I have just described and is just building a personalized experience for the user, a customer journey. So why marketing automation tool is so powerful in converting the people? It is so powerful because the first driver for many people is that it is creating a personal experience for the target. And it is really profiling people and adding to the data that you already have on the people also digital body language. And you're using this digital body language to define the customer journey of these people. There is another point that is not seldom considered. The traditional tools are producing a lot of scrap in terms of people that are using on the funnel, that you're losing in your journey. The marketing automation tool helps doing that.
I feel so impolite. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We are running out of time, and we have a short interview now.
Okay.
After you. Are you here all 2 days? Is it that we can connect with you in the coffee pause?
Yeah,
okay.
Perfect.
Is that possible?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Sergio. Sorry for no question space at that very moment. I keep the digital body language for me. Thank you very much.